Man, we got to get the camera going. All right. I can't do it without the camera. Yep, we got no camera. I don't even think I got sound. We got sound. Shit.
Bailey the racist, and who wants to put a racist in a main event pay-per-view title fight? I mean, they already made that fight before and nobody watched it. And that was during COVID when nobody had anything else to do. So how are you going to sell that as a pay-per-view? That's not a pay-per-view worthy main event. Push it right up there. Let's see if he's as good as all the hype says, and let's see how that goes. I think that's a fight for the fans, and I think that's the direction the UFC should go.
The golden age. Perhaps the greatest decade for heavyweights in boxing history. Perhaps. The 1960s has seen majority domination by the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the rings fighter of the decade, Muhammad Ali. But he'd been forced into exile after he refused to fight in the Vietnam War. Ali's undisputed title was split up, and in his absence, the WBA issued an 8-man tournament to decide who would be world champion. Joe Frazier boycotted the tournament on the grounds that his superior ranking rendered any bout against lower-ranked competitors unnecessary. Jimmy Ellis, who was an old companion of Ali's, would end up winning this tournament and the title, while Joe Frazier would take down Buster Mathis Sr. for the New York State Athletic Commission's championship. Now, I should clarify. The title was state jurisdiction-based, with Ellis recognized in 44 states and Frazier in only 6. Even so, Frazier's recognition carried more prestige, as New York was prime time for heavyweight boxing. In 1967, radio producer Mary Warner had the brilliant idea to do a fantasy matchup to find the best heavyweight champion of all time. A bracket was conceived of which Muhammad Ali, Rocky Marciano, Joe Louis, and Jersey Joe Walcott were included. Ultimately, Marciano won the entire tournament and was gifted a legitimate gold and diamond championship belt worth $10,000. Ali was furious that he was eliminated in the second round at the hands of Jim Jeffries, whom he deemed to be history's clumsiest and slow-footed fighter. He filed a lawsuit of defamation of character. The suit was settled when Warner offered to pay Ali $10,000 and to stage a super fight between he and Marciano, of which the winner would be decided by a computer. In February of 1969, Ali and Marciano boxed 70 to 75 rounds in a studio in Miami for the bout. Rocky lost 50 pounds and wore a toupee to appear as close as he could to his prime. On January 20th, 1970, 1,500 theaters across the United States, Canada, and Europe witnessed the results of the NCR 315 computer. The results differed depending on where it was aired. America and Canada saw Marciano knock Ali out in the 13th round, while Europe saw Ali knock Marciano out, also in the 13th round. Ali filed another lawsuit for defamation of character over the grounds that the film was promoted as a legitimate fight and not staged. He withdrew the lawsuit after seeing the European version. Unfortunately, 3 weeks after filming finished, Rocky Marciano died in a plane crash on the eve of his 46th birthday. He never got to see the results of the fantasy bout, but he and Ali left the studio on good terms. For years, the event was in limbo, seeing random airings on TV and allegedly being destroyed. That was until December 27, 2005, in which the super fight was released on DVD along with a documentary on the film, archival footage, audio of the original radio fantasy fights, and more features. It has also been televised. It's also worth noting that the super fight inspired Rocky Balboa, the 6th film in the Rocky franchise, being featured as a plot device to get Rocky out of retirement. On the undercard of the heavyweight unification bout, the young lion, rising contender and 1968 Olympic champion with only 15 fights, Big George Foreman, took on experienced journeyman Gregorio Peralta. The fight went the distance, showing that the imposing Foreman wasn't as invincible as his knockout percentage asserted. The decision, however, drew ire from the crowd, who felt that Peralta, at the very least, deserved a better nod score-wise from the judges, who'd all scored the fight overwhelmingly in favor of George Foreman. George secured the unanimous decision, but not without suffering a cut over his right eye. Peralta was cheered as he exited the ring. Muhammad Ali also reportedly studied this fight for his own match with Foreman 4 years later. It had been almost 3 years since the heavyweight title was in one piece, the night Muhammad Ali stopped Zora Foley in 7 rounds. The title was divided soon after, with Ali's suspension, and it would take some time to agree to unification. On December 29, 1969, Joe Frazier and Jimmy Ellis finally reached a deal to fight for unification after petty disputes led the two to exhaust their remaining competition. 2 weeks before the bout, Muhammad Ali surrendered the lineage by announcing his retirement for the sake of a new champion being formally acknowledged. It allowed heavyweight boxing to finally move on without him. Timing sure is a poochie. It was clear to all observers that the two men were on a collision course, one that would see fulfillment on February 16th at Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York.
All right.
This bout
We're
would
here
see
in the
Joe
cabin in the woods, the studio, watching some film, Ali Frazier. And I need my necklace. You got to look good on TV. Bam! There we go. Today's MMA question. Will Colby Covington blame the latest loss on the Masvidal sucker punch? I thought about it. He started talking about how he's timing's off and all this, and I ain't right. I got to check my health. I said, oh, shit. Oh, shuckaducka. I don't know. YouTube will cut you off for cussing. It ain't America no more. You can't cuss. Anyway, I digress. I said, old Colby gonna blame this on the sucker punch. I see it coming. I see it. He's gonna blame it on the sucker punch. He's gonna sue Masvidal for $148 million and try to help Rudy Giuliani. I see it coming. But no, seriously, what do you think? I'm thinking he's gonna blame him. I'm thinking Colby is gonna blame this. I wasn't right. It's from the brain damage. Masvidal gave me a brain damage. All right, so we're here in the cabin in the woods, the studio, watching some film. Ali Frazier. Man, my neck gotta look good on TV. Bam, there we go. Today's MMA question. Will Colby Covington blame the latest loss on the Masvidal sucker punch? I thought about it. He started talking about how his timing's off and all this. I ain't right. I gotta check my health. I said, oh shit. Oh shit. I don't know, YouTube will get you off for cussing. It ain't America no more. You can't cuss. Anyway, I digress. I said, oh, Colby gonna blame this on the sucker punch. I see it coming. I see it. He's gonna blame it on the sucker punch. He's gonna sue.
Fight would be stopped by referee Arthur McCanty by way of third round technical knockout. Chuvalo insists to this day that the fight was stopped too soon and thinks he would have gassed Foreman and knocked him out as the fight went on. Given what would happen 4 years later in Zaire, he just may have had a point. The gentleman of boxing, Floyd Patterson, returned from a 2-year layoff. It was almost 2 years to the day, just 1 day too late, since Floyd had dropped the WBA title bout decision to Jimmy Ellis.
How do you rate your own performance, and what was your feelings on the fight? Yeah, I rate my performance a 5 out of 10. I could sit here all day and make excuses. I could have zigged when I should have zagged. I could have, it was a timing thing because I was off. But that's not the cloth. That's not the cloth that I was cut from. So I'm not going to make excuses. There's a reason the front window is bigger than the rear view. So it's in the past now. I'm not going to worry about the past. I'm going to focus on what's next. There's a guy that's been talking a lot of shit to me in the media. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Everybody thinks he's a nice guy. He's had a lot to say about me. So I'd love to see.
Melt into your holiday moments with Lindor from the Lift Master Chocolatier. preparing for Colby Covington can be a mind-bending exercise because in terms of the output, the pace, he's one of the more offensive fighters in UFC history. And for Leon Edwards, he acknowledged that, right? He acknowledged coming into the best shape of his life and didn't even necessarily have to lean on the conditioning to get the job done tonight. I don't know. That was not the fight at all that I expected.
I agree. And what do we do now, right? I mean, we always spin things forward. I think that Lahal is a very obvious answer. But before we answer that for Leon, what do we do with Colby? Look, I'm not confident, John. You talk about how well I know him. With Rakhmonov, really, even coming off a loss, you could get that done. Colby's a number 3 guy. Rakhmonov's a number 5 guy. It's probably not going to change. You could do Colby versus Rakhmonov. What do you think?
Yeah, why not?
It's not a bad suggestion.
I'm just suggesting it because if you are trying to see acutely what Shavkat Rakhmonov is made of, you put him in a main event against Colby Covington, who will be, in theory, at the height of motivation. You set up a title eliminator. Maybe you do Leon and Bilal at UFC 300. Leon Edwards has offered up some enthusiasm for UFC 300. He hasn't been a quick turner historically, but maybe we get him April 13th at UFC 300 against Bilal Muhammad.
I think he could. I don't see why not. He didn't take a beating. He didn't get dominated in any way. He got out wrestled in the 5th round. That was it.
I think that 300 is hard to turn down. That's a historic event. It still lacks a main event that we've been told. Who knows what their plans are, but I'll tell you what, I like that idea. If I could just go back, please, to finish my thought. I love the suggestion of Rakhmonov. I'm not sure that Dana won't even make that suggestion to Colby. What I worry about is, will he take it? I don't know where his heart is at. To go up that mountain as many times as he did. Look, Colby's career is a riddle. He's had 3 world title fights. He was an interim champion. He never lost. He woke up one day, he wasn't the interim champion. He fought the reigning BMF champion, dominated him, and never became the BMF champion. I think that there's some real frustrations, and I just don't know. I don't know if he wants to start over, John. That's the hard truth. I don't know that we see Colby Covington again.
Yeah, it's really hard.
I said it. That's what I was dancing around. I've said it.
Why does he get a choice? When did we start getting these choices?
Well, Chael's suggesting that he may never fight again.
About being done.
I'm done.
Not acceptable.
Because it's not worth the risk.
Yeah, it's not a title fight. It's just not what he wants to do.
Right. And, I found myself wondering this week, had Colby Covington won the belt, what would his emotions be like? Would we see another side of Colby Covington finally just spilling over with joyful emotion having won the world title? But that is not our reality. And I want to center on Leon Edwards if I could for a second here. Joe Rogan was fairly critical on pay-per-view after the fact about Leon Edwards, the visual at the end of the fight underneath Colby Covington. Wanted style points, wanted a finish. When you dominate a guy like Colby Covington, who has never historically been dominated, to me, that's a win. So I don't have much criticism for Leon, but there is some out there.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I think that they was looking for a little bit more activity. Look, when you're on top of Colby, you really do have to hold him. If you don't hold him, he's coming back up to his feet. Speaking about scrambling to get back up to your feet, I think that that's what Leon did so well. Even though Colby wasn't finding those takedowns, he did have 2 reversals. He was on top twice, and Leon found his way back up. But all of a sudden, you start to wonder, well, what motivation is Colby going to have to do the most technique that there is, which is the takedown, if you don't believe that you can keep him there? I mean, it changed the fight. Leon really fought well. I'm trying to give it his due.
Well, I mean, if you look at what Usman was able to do to Edwards, he kept him on the fence almost the entire fight every time they fought. And it shows because Usman dominated Colby. So it really showed in that fight that Colby wasn't as competitive against Edwards as Usman was. And realistically, Edwards was able to just keep the range so perfect that there was no real threat from Colby other than the wrestling.
So there are a lot of these guys in this welterweight division that aren't necessarily submission threats on the ground. That is one thing Shavkat Rakhmonov is. So, Chael, if it is Leon Edwards and Bilal Muhammad, how exactly do you handicap that championship matchup?
Well, I like what you're saying. Muhammad has been through about everything, and every time you have a fight, you have a new challenge of some sort. Let's look at what Leon went through tonight. He was in tears 2 days ago. The baddest dude in the world was in tears 2 days ago, and he admitted it to the world. But think about what he had to overcome. He knew I need to bring those emotions back down. I must do this to focus and zero and pay a respect to his father. Come on, man. That was awesome that he was able to do that. That was incredible that he was able to succeed and then even speak about it. That was a real test. Rakhmonov is definitely in the wings. I believe that Rakhmonov is probably going to be your backup fighter. I think that we do go through with Lahal. A lot of things happen in the sport. They happen quickly. Is it possible Rakhmonov is next? I don't think by design. But yes, I do believe he will be in a backup spot for Leon versus Muhammad.
Well, Bilal took that fight with Burns on short notice. And so because of that, they said, okay, look, you get the next shot if you can beat him. So you can't break the promise to the guy. He's been through the ringer to get to this position. Give him the shot, see how he does. Should do fine. I mean, he's right there. It's not like it's going to be a bad fight.
All right, congratulations to the still UFC undisputed welterweight champion, Leon Edwards.
first order of business that last night, Saturday night.
I want Colby Covington, ladies and gentlemen. Colby, coming into this fight, what we had thought that you had an advantage was your pace and your grappling, but you seemed to, in the beginning rounds especially, not push that pace. Why was that?
You know, I've had a long layout, so I think the little ring rust had to do with it. But I want to shout out all our first responders, our military, those are the real heroes, the celebrities of our country. Also want to shout out Donald Trump. You can delay it, but you can't deny it. She's going to make America great again. We need these borders secure. We need inflation down. And we need America first again. Donald Trump's the only one that's going to do that again. Trump 2024.
Colby, what happens for you now? This was your third shot at the title. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, I feel great. I didn't feel like I got touched. It was an easy fight. You know, I don't have a scratch on me. So, you know, I'd like to get back to work early part of next year, first quarter next year. Hey, anybody that thinks adversity in life, don't hang your head. Just come back stronger from it. Just like Trump, he had a rigged election, but he's going to come back stronger. He's going to make America great again.
So you feel like it was the ring rust that made you hesitate in the early rounds? Because one of the things that we were thinking about this fight was the pace you pushed with Kamaru, the pace you pushed with so many other fighters, that was going to be your biggest chance for victory.
Yeah, you know, I made a mistake. That was my game plan. I made a bad adjustment early on, so, you know, I'm only going to learn from this. I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I've been out of the hospital for 2 years. People have been ducking me. Fights have fell through. Leon didn't want to fight in his home country of UK, so I've been ready to fight anytime, anywhere, anyone. So shout out to Hunter. Shout out to Dana. Thanks to UFC. I love being a UFC fighter. I will come back stronger. I'm 35 years young. I didn't take any.
Wait, you can design a personalized weight loss plan for me? Whoa.
I will prevent World War III. I will prevent World War III. World War III is not going to be army tanks going back and forth, shooting at each other, boom, boom, an airplane having a little fight in the sky. This is the big stuff. And if it's going to be total obliteration, we cannot have World War III. We will keep you out of it, and we'll keep you out of it because of strength, because of Joe Biden is a low IQ individual. He is truly the worst, most incompetent, and most corrupt president in the history of our country. This guy Biden is the worst we've ever had. The worst.
Well, Colby, it's been about 18 months since we last saw you inside the octagon, and
What? Yeah. What round do you think it's ending?
It's tough to call.
I say third. Man.
Second.
Look.
Already put the
He said when he beats Kamaru Usman, he says no way he's letting you wrap the belt around him. If you do, he's going to smack you in the head with it. What's your comments on that?
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. He's a big motherfucking idiot.
All my haters in one studio. I appreciate it, guys. But what kind of excuses you gonna make for RDA now? What are you gonna say? He's a lightweight. He's overweight. This and that. We know you're gonna make excuses. No one's ever gonna legitimize me. And my your coach Jason Prado was good.
No one's making excuses, Colby. You fought a good fight. Why are you why are you so defensive? Why are you gonna be a prick?
I'm not defensive. Just all you guys worked RD up. You gave him a false sense of security that he was a god. He was unbeatable at 170. Now I just beat him. I want to hear the excuses.
That makes it even better for you. So, we said he was a great opponent. You went out there. We just said, I don't know if you care to listen. I know you just had a fight and been hit in the head a few times, but obviously you don't think too straight. We just said you fought a very, very good fight. If you care to listen, open your ears and stop talking so much crap for 1 minute. You might hear that we actually gave you some compliments.
Stop talking crap. Isn't that your king? That's what you do the best.
No,
that's all you do is talk.
Well, Colby, let's talk about who you
Why don't you come out, man?
Hey,
come on in time. I'm time you. Good.
Okay. Hey, that's the best joke I've heard all day. Good one. Take your gaze off, bud. You look like an idiot. You're coming at me hard. I'm going to come at you hard. You're standing there with that shiny belt on your shoulder. Do you actually consider yourself the welterweight champion of the world? Because I'm pretty sure Tyron Woodley actually lays claim to that.
Nah, he doesn't lay claim to nothing, man. This is my belt. Tyron Woodley, he's been hiding, man. We were supposed to fight this, man. Whether you want to say it, look at the facts. UFC offered him the fight last December. He's hiding. He's been ducking everybody in the division. He doesn't want to fight. I'm here to make the division great again. And you know what I'm going to do by making the division great again? I'm going to the White House. I'm putting this on Donald Trump's desk.
Do you have the invite to go to the White House? Or is that just another, figment of your imagination, like being the champ?
The only figment of my imagination is you must not be seeing right with that one eye.
Hey, buddy, don't worry about it. At least I'm not wearing shades. At least I'm proud of the way I look. Listen, you going to do that or not? Are you going to run around and be the champ, float around the White House for a while?
It's a BMF belt, so you're at BMF, so...
George is a buddy of mine. I don't sell out like fucking Colby Covington. You talk bad about people who I roll with.
And who's you coming to see? It's not that cocksucker with the MAGA hat talking about Trump this, Trump that, and he don't know shit about politics. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about politics and act like I know about it, but I ain't gonna try to fucking sell people that I know about politics. That motherfucker can't even spell the nation's capital. Invert ass retard. That the universe is gonna correct that mistake via me. Our time will come. I'll dictate when, and then I will. A lot of people said you included that name, and what I did the band was a little uncalled for. No, it wasn't. What I'm gonna do to Colby's gonna be uncalled for. And I can put my life on that.
We were in studio on my show back in 2016. I don't know if you remember. You were here to watch the NCAA wrestling tournament, and we actually talked a lot. I just listened to the interview again just to remind me of what we talked about. We talked a lot about your roommate, your friend, and the Bisping photo makes me think that this makes me sad that you and Colby are beefing. This makes me sad. You guys were going. You spoke so highly of him in that interview. I don't know if you remember, but going to Taco Bell late at night.
Yeah. I mean, we me and this individual shared a lot of memories.
Yeah, you guys were real friends.
At some point, I would have considered us real friends. Knowing that he'd take to the internet or online to bash me when I had never bashed him, and he just took to bashing it, whether it be for a Facebook like or maybe he's going to get 10 more pay-per-view buys when we do fight. If you would sell out our friendship like that so quick, we never had a friendship. It was all fake. I thought we had a friendship, but I could see from your end to mine, we were never cool, man. You were just using me or whatever the hell, sleeping on my couch. Obviously, you already knew who I was. So how would I get Colby on your show? I'd tell you about my boy Colby. I do it with other radio shows, So I just feel like, man, this dude's a punk, And then to really put the nail in the coffin, ripped off my coach. Didn't pay him money. My coach was training him since he's an amateur all the way till he got his title with RDA, and then after that, just ripped him off. When that happened, he died to me, So I really don't like to address him in interviews because nobody the F knows who he is, especially if they're watching me. They want to see pure violence. They don't want to see pure hugging. So none of my fans really know who this dude is. So that'll be the first and last time we address that peasant on this show, man.
Colby Covington fights on Saturday, and you go way back with him. And a lot has been made. Is this an act? Is what he's doing? Is it real? Is it really him?
Yeah.
You've known him for a long time. Was that him back then?
Yeah, Colby's a habitual liar at the end of the day. He really is. I mean, he told the fans that we lived together for 2 years, we lived together for 1 semester. He's just, I've made a lot of mistakes, and a lot of people don't consider me to be a good person, but.
So that'll be the first and last time we address that peasant on this show, man.
Colby Covington fights.
Nope. Treat me like.
Ripped him off. When that happened, he died to me, So I really don't like to address him in interviews because nobody, the F knows who he is, especially if they're watching me. They want to see pure violence. They don't want to see pure hugging. So none of my fans really know who this dude is, So that'll be the first and last time we address that peasant on this show, man.
Colby Covington fights on Saturday, and you go way back with him. And a lot has been made. Is this an act? Is what he's doing? Is it real? Is it really him?
Yeah.
You've known him for a long time. Was that him back then?
Yeah, Colby's a habitual liar at the end of the day. He really is. I mean, he told the fans that we lived together for 2 years, we lived together for 1 semester. He's just, I've made a lot of.
Knowing that he'd take to the internet or online to bash me when I had never bashed him, and he just took to bashing it, whether it be for a Facebook like or maybe he's gonna get 10 more pay-per-view buys when we do fight. If you would sell out our friendship like that so quick, we never had a friendship. It was all fake. I thought we had a friendship, but I could see from your end to mine, we were never cool, man. You were just using me or whatever the hell, sleeping on my couch. Obviously, you already knew who I was. So how would I get Colby on your show? I'd tell you about my boy Colby. I do it with other radio shows, So I just feel like, man, this dude's a punk, And then to really put the nail in the coffin, ripped off my coach. Didn't pay him money. My coach was training him since he's an amateur all the way till he got his title with RDA, and then after that, just ripped him off. When that happened, he died to me, So I really don't like to address him in interviews because nobody, the F knows who he is, especially if they're watching me. They want to see pure violence. They don't want to see pure hugging, So none of my fans really know who this dude is, So that'll be the first and last time we address that peasant on this show, man.
Colby Covington fights on Saturday, and you go way back with him. And a lot has been made. Is this an act? Is what he's doing? Is it real? Is it really him?
Yeah.
You've known him for a long time. Was that him back then?
Yeah, Colby's a habitual liar at the end of the day. He really is. I mean, he told the fans that we lived together for 2 years, we lived together for 1 semester. He's just, I've made a lot of mistakes, and a lot of people don't consider me to be a good person, but I mean, coming from me, Colby's a really bad person. He really is. He really, really is. I mean, there's no coincidence that, Tyrone Woodley got to know him and hates him. Masvidal got to know him and hates him. I got to live with him and really don't like him. If any of you guys got to know him, man, he really is a rotten person. I think the MMA community is going to start to see it over the years.
A lot of his teammates.
No, Colby's a terrible person. I've been telling you guys, I have been telling the outside world this for many years. I am in the wrestling community. The wrestling community is tight-knit. We know who sucks and who doesn't suck. Now, here's the deal. Everywhere Colby's been, nobody likes him. They don't like him. No good reviews. We are seeing that now come out of ATT. I mean, everyone's kind of keeping quiet. But think about all the different people who came out against him. Joanna, Dustin, George. I mean, who likes him? Can you guys name me one person from ATT who stuck up and said, you know what? I actually think Colby's a really good guy. He's just misunderstood. Hey, Colby really adds a lot to this team. Can you guys name me one person who said that? No. He's a little bit of a joker, but genuinely, no one likes him. Like, in real life, he's really a douchebag. That being said, people don't like Colby, and they probably never will because he's a dipshit.
But he did tell me that he thinks that Usman might be stripped of the title or should be stripped of the title. Do you agree?
He's such a moron. No, it's Colby. Shut up. Colby is so dumb. You go back and see my previous post and see that he said that no commission would sanction me fighting him. And I was thinking about how stupid he has to be to believe that there's actually someone else that stupid to believe his lie. I mean, can you imagine? If you take Colby's IQ and cut it in half, we're in the single digits. That is how stupid he must think some fans are. Because I can't think of anyone I've ever met in my entire lifetime that has such a low IQ that they would actually believe what he is saying. Colby, you're losing your gimmick. Please tell us something that's at least slightly believable. And maybe go back to school so your IQ goes up at least a couple points.
Happy holidays. May the calendar keep ringing. Happy holidays to you.
You've had some bad words to say about him at times over the years. What do you think about Colby?
After a while, no matter how much you hate him, you at least got to respect him. I mean, the guy keeps winning fights. He's tough dude.
People want to pretend Colby can't fight. He's a real problem because that style of shit talking is infuriating.
Yeah. Love me or hate me, I'm just getting started. You haven't seen the best of Colby Chaos Covington yet.
He can say whatever he wants.
Colby gets it, man. You stay off the track when the train's coming through, Junior. Don't matter if it's a truck train or the Colby train. Get out the way.
You can't say a goddamn thing to him because he's in a character.
I didn't buy a ticket to come see you guys. You can't buy a ticket to see me.
I sell tickets. I put butts in seats. You know, I sell pay-per-views. So people want to see me. Whether you love me or hate me, you can tune in to see me fight.
If you didn't have any information about him and his character, and you just watch his fights, you wouldn't fuck, man, this guy's a true villain.
You better respect me at the end of the day when I keep smashing on without winning.
But then you add into that this character, he's pretending, you know, that oh, that guy's a joke, that guy's a joke. That joke, he's running over.
Shut your mouth and listen to the chain.
He's full old school Ric Flair with a new style twist.
He's a real fighter. He's absolutely one of the best welterweights in the world. What do you think of Colby personally? Not tonight. He's one of the best in the world. Best fighters in the world.
How do you think for a reason you're not? I go all day, all night. I don't ever get tired.
The output's all the same. It's just constant. Bang, 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 kick, bang, 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 punch. Guys, keeps coming. It's terrifying.
The UFC and MMA in general is a ruthless sport that's filled with warriors that shoot for the stars. Fighters that put their health on the line to achieve greatness. While doing that, they sacrifice a lot of things in hopes that the company will keep them on the roster.
How good is this? Moving up, settle, let go.
Fight is a chance to climb the ladder, but also fall off. But the sport not only looks for fighters that will notch win after win, they have to be spectacular at doing it. After all, it's